Good to Bovine here. About to give you 10 tips for beginners. This is kind of gameplay advice. I'm not going to go through what you should farm or what you buy from each stores. They'll discuss that a little bit, but there's a lot of videos that talk about what the best teams are and farming, etc. But this is more game tips. So uh, let me get in. First thing is Sorcerer's Tournament. Now I've played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. That's what I'd played for a long time before I started playing uh, Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I would not make my first arena attack until it was my hour, my payoff hour. And that's not an appropriate thing to do for uh, Disney DSA. Because one of the key things with DSA is, it's very, very slow to climb up. And I think it was, you could get basically, if you had 5 victories in a row, attack the most difficult one in Star Wars, I think you could get about half. So if you were at like starting at 10,000, you could go to 5,000. You could refresh 5 more attacks, and you could get to 2,500. And you could refresh, and you can get to 1,250. Not that way. Much slower progress with DSA. Um, so you need to really take advantage of everything you are. So you can get 6 attacks a day, and you need to take all 6 attacks a day while you're climbing because it just takes forever to climb. So you get 5, and then you request one, and there's like I think 10 minutes between battles. So if you say, oh, I'm going to do this in an hour, it's not enough time. You really need like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half at minimum. Because once you do your 5, then you can request a 6. So then you have to wait for one of your guildies to give you, yeah, I'll give you one. And unlike Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, once you get your payout, your clock starts on your 5 again. So it's not, with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I would get my payout, and then, well, if I didn't, oh, I still have a couple of attacks. Well, I'll go ahead and take them. Just kind of move up, even though it won't benefit me. Can't do that in DSA. You have to use all your attacks before the payout. So I've started, when I'm doing my dailies, I just go ahead and do um, a Sorcerer's Tournament, a battle, just to get it. Okay. Another very important thing about the tournament here is that the you can see this guy here. This is not the highest rank you can fight at any one time. So this is actually pretty good. So this is about 60 away. So that's kind of roughly where I'm at. But sometimes I've come in and just kind of assumed that this is the best, the lowest I can attack right off the bat, and it'd only be 40. And, it that slows my climb down. So whenever I'm starting to, okay, I've made my attack, I'm ready to attack somebody again, I look, I'll write 1817. Well, 1840. Well, that's not. I'm not looking 1825. No. 1817. 1817 is looking pretty good. I would go ahead and attack this person. I probably should go ahead. As they're looks like they're going to be an easy one to crush. I'll just put it on auto, and um, so kind of go through my preferred team lineup. And one thing I've kind of figured out is um, is I like this lineup here. Okay, and I've got Jasmine, but if I had the big blue guy, I'd put him in this same spot here. So this is for the taunters. And one thing I've figured out is I want Buzz in the back because what typically happens in these battles is if I've been putting Buzz in the middle, and then when I'm attacking, I put my Buzz. Let's see. Okay, his Buzz is not over there. Okay, but his Buzz is in the front row. Okay, so there's his buzz. And because he's in the front row, I'm going to want to I want to beat him to stunning. So, boom, he's almost dead. I'll just press this on. So if you put Buzz is a very uh, fragile character. So if I put him in the front row, it makes it easy for everybody to take the attacks against him. So if I put him in the back row, then when I'm doing Aladdin, I'm like, well, if I could attack Buzz, I'm only going to attack one other. But if I attack the front row, I'm going to hit 3 people. So kind of force people. So that's one advice is, you want to have tank over in one corner. So when Duke hits him, he's going to hit your two healthiest characters, or right there. So that's how I do the starting preferred lineup. Okay. Now, one thing very important and is you really want to get to having a team of 3-star characters as soon as possible. That's something that you really need to be planning early on. Is okay, who are my 5 characters that are going to get to 3 stars? Because here we are in the treasure room, and I complete one, and then the next is I've got to have 5 3-star characters. All events are locked behind. That becomes a critical thing. It's getting 3-star characters. So when you're farming, that's something you have to keep in mind is what 3-star characters am I going to have? So my advice is be flexible. Don't say, oh yeah, I'm going to go for these characters when getting those particular characters would keep you from getting a team of 5 3-star characters. That getting 5 3-star characters is just immensely important. Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to talk about, so, for me personally, just a little bit about store. A lot of people say, hey, get Jack Sparrow tokens. Well, if I'm working on getting Mickey because he's going to be one of my 3-star characters. So, boom, I'm going to focus on him. Yeah, Jack Sparrow would be better, but it's going to take me longer to get him to 3 stars, to get him unlocked at 3 stars. And I need to get 5 3-star characters as quickly as possible. So just one thing I didn't understand, people will, I said, oh, take the spell packs, not the individual spells. And I'm like, huh, what? Well, so what happens is when you do the Club Conquest, you put out your teams, and with each team you put 2 spells. So right now I have 4 spells. So I put 2 with Team 1, I put 2 with Team 2, and Team 3 didn't get any spells. So it's, it's kind of wasteful to getting these random spells from the spell package, but it's actually good because I need those spells to have so all my teams for Club Conquest will have 2 spells. So just wanted to clarify that for people who kind of wondered that like I did. Because it's like, a lot of people, oh, you just buy that. And it's like, well, why? Why? Why not go for something else? Okay, Towers of Endurance. I've completed the first tower, and I kind of regret doing that, because it's an easier climb than this. And so I could, if I had stopped at level 7, I would get, if I did 1 through 7 every day, I would get 490 points for the store, these things. Now, to get that, I have to climb 5 levels, and I can't. I can't make it that far. The enemies here are just so much harder than the enemies in the first tower that I can't get that. So I kind of regret. So don't win the 8th battle until you think you're OP for this, that you really can get to the next 5 levels of the next tower. Don't do like I did, where I was like, oh, woo, I got that, and then it's like, I'm struggling to get through this tower right here. I can get, I think 4. I got level 4, so I'm not missing too much. Um, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Oh, on stores, this was something. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Kind of save you a simple mistake. So I got a refresh from one of my guildmates. Oh, great! Very important thing is, if I'm going to want the refresh for this, I need to, buy what I want on this page, and now claim the refresh here. If when I'm here, it only refreshes one tab. So if I'm on this tab when I click refresh, I this tab does not get refreshed. So it's very important you be on the tab that you want refreshed whenever you click claim your refresh. Um, just a general thing. The Unlike Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the challenges provide an assortment of really useful gear. So before you start farming from gear, be sure you do all 3 challenges of your of all 3 rounds of your challenges. So don't go, do one and then, oh, I'm going to go off and farm some, oh, I need to get this item and this item. Well, you might get those items from the summoner challenges. So it's a good thing to go ahead and, if you're gonna go and farm nodes for shards, you can go ahead and do that. But don't farm gear until you've done all your summoner challenges. Um, Now, when you're requesting, this is somewhat club related. When you're requesting gear, don't request stuff that you have none of. All right, request the ones that you have lots of, because if you have none, it depends on if all your guild mates are at your same level or not. Now, if they may be ahead of you, and you're a low level character for your guild, then go ahead and request what you want. But if everybody in your guild's about the same level and you're all looking for the same gear, if I were to request, come in and we'll take a look at the clubs, requests. These people here, nobody's going to give them these items. We all need these items. We need brooms. We need the little potions. That we need the threads. So if you're requesting that, I'm not going to do that. Whereas you request something that you have a lot of, then I'm going to get 5, and if somebody else requests something I have a lot of, I can give them 5. And so what that's really important for is our dailies for the club, is that we want to get our donations maxed out. We want to get 200, because if we do that, then everybody gets 2,500 more guild currency, and that'd be awesome. Um, so that's, you really want to focus more on just swapping back minor items that and getting a big guild currency roll than trying to get stuff that you're not gonna, you might get one, and then if you turn around and you give one of another item to another person, you really aren't getting a net gain anyways. Okay. So This is just a pretty minor thing in battle. If I've got the tower and I've got Duke Kaboom, um, I always want to put the tower down first. With both of these spells activate at the same time. So I want to put the tower down. I want to put Duke Kaboom down because the tower might activate. Might trigger. I might be able to shoot after Duke Kaboom. So that's the order that you always should do these things in. Um, so that's kind of my advice. And again, like I talked a little earlier, be flexible. You know, there's some things I've been seeing on. Um, the big thing is, as I said, you want to get the 3-star characters, 5 3-star characters as quickly as you can. And then once you get to that, then you need to start working on getting 5 4-star characters. And so, what characters you're going to get really depends on the events that are going on. Um, so, I look at my collection. I got the passport, $10. I spent $10 on the passport, and that got me some Iron shards that unlocked him. And that let me get some barley shards, and that let me. I got lucky with the chest, and I got mana core unlocked, and so she's one of my 2 3-star characters. And that was just kind of what's going on. I've seen some other people saying, "Oh, Genie should be one of your main team." Well, Genie's is hard for me to get right now. Well, I'm sorry. So I got the Cave of Wonders. So hopefully, if I can get a 3-star team, I can then that will allow me to get Genie shards and unlock Genie. But the Cave of Wonders event's only going to be around for a limited time. You might, when you're playing, you might be going. Mulan may be an event that you start with, and that boom, that's what you need to take advantage of in order to get 5 3-star characters. So don't lock yourself in. Look more towards what 3-star character can I get, and don't say, well, in this video it says this is what my starting team should be. So I was hopeful that was helpful. I hope that was helpful for you. Gunther Bovine, out.